what's been your biggest inspiration in life? Or also, a secondary question is, what do you find most valuable in life? It could maybe be correlated to.
Mhm. I think if I have to think like first inspiration, like just to go like deep, I was thinking about that the other day, and you're gonna laugh whenever I tell you this. I'm like a little bit embarrassed to say it, but I think as like a young girl, I was very inspired by like Mary Kay, which I don't even know if you know what Mary Kay is, like the makeup company.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was thinking. Mary Kay, like
Mary
Ashley, and
no, no.
then I was thinking
No,
the
like
brand.
Mary Kay.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I just like loved that there was like these like women who could run their own little businesses. There was like a woman in my neighborhood growing up who had like achieved the pink Cadillac, which was like I don't even know how much you had to sell then.
Yeah,
Like
I remember you telling me a
yeah,
story about this at one point.
no,
That's
but I think it
crazy.
just like spoke to me as like very like female driven, female led in like a time where there wasn't a lot of that. And it really just allowed for like some independence. And you could like run your own business within this like bigger infrastructure, which I thought was interesting. And like
Yeah.
I feel like I remember like that pink Cadillac, I was like, that's success.
Oh my God.
So, which I think they still actually give those out, and or you like you have to earn them like
Yeah.
based on that. So I think that just like women who are like doing things like differently, there's like obviously like a long list, but I think anyone like who had like an entrepreneurial spirit, because I find myself like with that to a fault.
Yeah.
And I think for like a value from like all of it that's really important to me, I think is just like authenticity, which is like so hard and scary sometimes, but just being like honest and authentic and seeing where that lands.
Wow, I love that. Um, Going back to,
Mary Kay.
yes,
Hmm.
this kind of makes a lot of sense to like why you like never give up and you're always like I'm going to get this, and
Yeah.
there's no, there's only a yes in my book,
Yeah.
because I think to be, you know, in eyesight of somebody that was able to attain that, like I definitely heard about it. I
Yeah.
thought it was a scam. I didn't think that it actually existed.
Yeah.
That like
I
somebody,
mean,
but you got to witness
yeah,
it,
but from like
right?
an unexpected, like across the street neighbor. Yeah. Yeah. And I was just like, wow. And I saw like she looks so beautiful and like so glamorous.
But that explains a lot.
Yeah.
Like, no,
No, I
literally.
think on like my vision board, like they're like I haven't worked with them very much, but I was like, oh, I would like love for me it'd be very full
Would you
circle.
ever drive a pink Cadillac?
A
Just,
hundred
oh
percent,
my
a
God.
100%. I think now they make it light pink. It's
That
more
is
like
hilarious.
opalescent. Hmm.
That is so cool. That's so interesting. So for me, um, you were definitely that person, I think, when I was
That's
young.
so
I'm not even kidding
sweet.
you. I remember um I was very young when I met you, and I thought you were like the most glamorous person in our corporate office. We were working off price.
Let's not name names.
She was the creative director, and I was like an assistant buyer. And she intimidated the room because she was so smart and obviously walking in super glamorous and graceful. And I was like, I have to be friends with her. And of course, I'm like literally like the assistant buyer, like little, she had no time for me. She had no time for anyone in that company. And then I don't know how I invited you to lunch. You blew
Yeah.
me off a couple times. Finally made some time for me. I think I made you laugh, and that's why you like me. You're like, this girl's gonna
Yeah.
make me laugh. She has a
Yeah, no,
sense
I
of
think it was
humor.
the lunch. I feel like it was a cold environment and I was like very isolated and no one was ever asking me to get lunch. I was like never having lunch. It was just like Roddy in my office. And then I was like, this girl keeps asking me like, and
I
I
was
think
just into
one
your vibe. Like, I
one
didn't
day I
even know
think I
what you
was
did.
hungry.
Yeah. Like, she's gonna feed me.
I was like, I don't know where to get lunch here. I'm
Yeah.
starving.
Because at the time, I didn't know what creative direction meant. I didn't know exactly. I knew that you were like a big boss in the company, but I didn't really understand creative direction at all. I learned about creative direction the more time I spent with you, and the values of
Mhm.
it within fashion. Um, and then as I got to know you, I was like, oh, wow, like she's doing this with her life and she's doing that. And so it taught me that you don't just need, you can't be in just a box. Like you
Yeah,
can form your own. So that's really cool that you
sweet.
had Mary Kay's winner guide you and I had you. That's I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, no, I think as well, like to round that out, and it's very kind what you said, but I think as well, I was like obsessed as like I think from like a young age, I was like very interested in business, and I like loved like in my day there was like Dolly Parton 9 to 5, and I saw like these. They were like in this like New York office, Dolly Parton like dressed up, and they would like play this like 9 to 5 like on their fake nails, and I was like, that's the life for me.
That is really funny. Oh
Which I
man.
think you've seen me in on the streets of New York. It looks a little different than that, but I was like, that's where it's at. Like 9 to 5. I need that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
this.
There's a few other references
Mm,
there, but I think it was that like this idea of like a woman who was like had a job. I was like, that's great.
That and now she doesn't just have a job, she has a full business and a kid and it still balances everything, I feel like literally so gracefully. So,
Thank you.
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And congratulations on the podcast. I'm very proud of you and
Uh,
happy
Baby
happy to be
steps.
here. Yeah, no, good job. I
Well,
love it.
thank you.